Hi, it's Ken with Brigadier again, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to change the batteries in door and window sensors for the GE alarm systems. Most of the GE alarm systems are going to be the Simon, Simon 2, Simon 3, Simon XT, Simon XTI, Simon XTI5, or the Networks NX8 or NX6 panels. But in this video I'll be showing you how to change the batteries in these sensors here. If you don't see your sensor in this video, you may have a different alarm panel, or I just may not have that sensor in stock. So you might want to take a look through the other sections of our website. We're going to start off with the SAW door sensor here. This door sensor is about 4.5 inches long. Stand off the door about 1 inch. And on one of the shorter sides, there's going to be a little round circle. To get the cover off, just press on this round circle here, and the cover will lift off. This model of sensor takes 2 AAA batteries. Problem with this is alkaline batteries tend to leak, so I would change the batteries in this sensor at least once a year. Since they're not that expensive, I may even do it twice a year, just because if it does leak, your sensor is going to quit working on you, and it'll either always report low or report a supervisory or something. Sometimes you'll see corrosion on these posts here or on the back side of them. And sometimes you don't even see any corrosion. When you change the battery, you want to make sure that you put the battery back in the same way you took it out, so the positive faces in the correct direction. And then when you put the cover back on, you'll see that little lip there on the back of the case. It goes into there. That on, slide it over, snap it shut. If you do see any corrosion on these posts here, what I would do is get a Q-tip, dip it in a little bit of vinegar or rubbing alcohol, clean the posts off as best you can, dry it off, put in 2 new batteries, and again, the sensor may work for you, or it may only work for a few days or a few weeks and then start acting up again. Like I said, if it does that, the sensor is usually no good and it has to be replaced, so you can just give us a call. But that would be it for the first sensor. The next sensor I have, this one's about 2.5 inches long. It only stands up maybe 1/2 inch off the table. And there's going to be a little tiny gap here. I've already got it open a bit because I'm doing this myself and it's kind of hard to do one-handed. So you'd insert a little screwdriver there and then you'd pop it upwards to get it open. This back plate here would be stuck to the door and would stay on there. So after you pop it open, you lift the cover off. And inside it will take 2 watch batteries, model number CR2032. You'll want to make sure when you put the batteries in that the positive sign faces up so you can read it, and then you'll snap it closed again. This little black switch you see here is your tamper switch. If you don't get the sensor closed properly, it's going to either show tampered or open on your system all the time. So when you do put it back together, you want to make sure you push down on all the corners and the sensor here nice and firm. If any of the corners are standing up a little bit, your sensor will probably show that it's tampered or opened. third sensor is a shock sensor. This one's usually found on windows. This guy is about 5 inches long. Stands up off your door, probably 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. Again, on one of the short sides, you're going to see a couple little openings. For this sensor, I either take a little screwdriver or something, put it here, give it a little twist, and that would pop it open. When there's a bigger spot here, slide it here and then lift up and pry the cover up and off. So after you pop that cover off, I stuck my screwdriver in here and gave it a twist, or in this area, and lift it up that way. Cover will lift off, and here you will find a 3-volt lithium battery, model number CR123. Again, you want to make sure you put it back in the same way you took it out. There is a little plus sign here that you can see, but depending on your lighting and everything, it's kind of hard to see that sometimes. So make sure you put it back in the same way you took it out. You don't want to lose the spring over here, or adjust any settings on this, and you want to leave this facing the same way it is when you took it out. It may not be facing the way it is in my video here, but however it is when you open it is the way you want to leave it. When you put the cover back on, you'll see there's a couple little hooks here on the back. Your case has the little notches there where it fits in. So you put the back part on first, and then just snap her closed. Again, make sure it snaps closed tight, otherwise, like this one, popped open again, that spring would show tampered. Okay. And once it's together good, you should be done with this sensor. Our fourth sensor is about 3¼ inches long, and will stand up off the door about 1.25 inches. On one of the short sides again, there's this little piece of plastic. At this little opening there, you see, there's a little ledge that slides underneath this piece of plastic. So either I take a screwdriver, slide it in here, and pry backwards this way to get that little ledge out from underneath. Or if your fingers are strong enough, you can put your finger on the front and the back and squeeze together, and that'll bring that ledge out from, or that lip out from underneath this ledge here. When you get the sensor open, you just lift the cover off. So you can kind of see that little lip and the ledge there that it would slide underneath. Lift the cover off, and inside again is another 3-volt lithium battery, model number CR123. Again, you want to make sure you take the battery, put it back in the same way you took it out, so the positive faces in the correct direction. On this sensor, you do not want to lose a spring again or adjust any of the settings. There's also an older model of this sensor that took a smaller lithium battery. Again, it's another 3.6 volt lithium. This one's a little more, but it's only half the size. So on this sensor, I would probably open it up first to make sure you have the right battery. When you put it back on, at the back again is that little ledge, which would fit into there. So Put the back on first and snap it tight again. That's how you change the battery on our 4th model. Our 5th sensor is about 1.25 inches long. It'll stand up probably 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. And it'll have this little square on the top with 2 lines going off to the sides. On one of the corners, you're going to find a gap. So in that opening there, what I would do is stick in a little screwdriver and give it a twist. So slide in there, give it a twist, and that'll pop it off its back plate here that is attached to your door. Okay, so after I gave it that little twist and popped it off, this part here would stay attached to your door. This part comes off. Turn the back of it to face you. And you're going to see a few openings here. So again, I take the little screwdriver in one of these openings and just lift the cover upwards and off. So in this case, I put the screwdriver in the little slot that was here, lifted it up, and then the back plate comes off. Take that out. And inside, you've got your circuit board inside the case. This circuit board will slide right out of the case. Just turn it over. And you have your sensor and your battery. So it's just a little watch battery in here, model number CR2032. Again, the writing faces up on the battery, which is the positive side. Take your little screwdriver from the back and just give it a push this way, and the battery will slide out of its holder. So here I've pushed the battery through and take it out. Again, model number CR2032, 3-volt battery. And you go to put it back in. Just slide the battery back into place again, which may be a little difficult here again. Push it in. And then you will notice on the circuit board here, you got that little edge cut out. In your case, you got the same edge. So what you're going to want to do is line the two up together again. Drop the circuit board into place. Grab the back cover, which also has that edge right here. So when you turn it over, it's going to line up and match. Put the cover in, push it closed. Next, you're going to notice a little red button there. This red button is a tamper switch. When you snap the sensor back onto the case that's on your door, this little piece of plastic here should push that tamper switch closed. So once again, when you put it on, if you don't snap it tight, your system is always going to show that the door is open or tampered. So put it on there. Make sure you push on all the corners again, nice and tight. Because if any of them are standing up again, you're going to have a tamper problem. And that's it for sensor number 5. Now we are at our newest model of door sensor. Looks a lot like one of the other ones, but they've redesigned it so the cover comes off much better. It's about 2.5 inches long, stands up maybe half an inch again. On this sensor, you just have to slide the sensor towards one of the short sides. So it's either going to be this way or it's going to be this way. Probably won't be able to do it with one hand very well again, but it'll be attached to the door again, so you just slide it in whichever direction goes towards one of the short sides. After you've slid the cover open, it should just lift off base, which again with one hand. There we go. So it'll lift off like that, and you have your sensor there. Again, it just takes a little watch battery, model number CR2032. Just take your little screwdriver again, pop the battery up and out of its case. When you put it back in, make sure the symbols all face up again. And on this one, this little black switch here is your tamper switch. When you put the sensor back together, the cover is only going to go on the one way. So you get the cover on, and in this case, you would slide it this way to lock it back into place. So once again, that's how you change the battery in one of our 6 models here of door window sensors. If you do not see your sensor in this lineup, you probably have one of the other alarm systems, so you'll want to check out one of our videos for those sensors. If you run into any problems or anything, you can always give us a call. The number is 306-665-0401, and we'll schedule one of the guys to come out there and give a hand with the door sensor for you. So once again, that is how you change the battery in one of the 6 models of GE door sensors that we have here. If you do not see your door sensor in the lineup here, you probably have a different alarm panel, and you'll want to look at one of the other videos on how to change your battery. If you need a hand with anything, give us a call. The number is 306-665-0401. And we can schedule one of the guys to come out and help you. But otherwise, we'll see you in our next video.